A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant legal development, a federal judge has issued a ruling that halts the Trump administration's efforts to dismantle Voice of America, VOA, the government-funded broadcaster, at least for the time being. This ruling marks a pivotal moment in ongoing legal battles concerning executive power and the constitutional protections of free speech. Judge Royce C. Lamberth delivered the preliminary injunction on Tuesday, ordering the administration to restore the status of VOA employees and contractors to what it was prior to a March 14th executive order that suspended their operations. The injunction also extends to other federally funded news outlets such as Radio Free Asia and the Middle East Broadcasting Networks. In his ruling, Judge Lamberth criticized the administration's decision as arbitrary and capricious, pointing out the lack of any substantial reasoning behind the move. He expressed concern that the Trump administration was likely violating several federal laws. The administration's legal representatives contended that they were not infringing upon the First Amendment rights of VOA journalists because they had not targeted individual viewpoints but had merely paused all journalism activities. However, Judge Lamberth found this argument troubling, suggesting that it undermined the principles of free speech. Following the ruling, unions, journalist organizations, and advocates for democracy expressed their support, viewing the decision as a victory for press freedom. Patsy Widakuswara, the VOA's White House bureau chief and lead plaintiff in the case, emphasized the broader implications of this ruling, stating, "This is not just about our jobs and journalistic freedom, it's for our own national security. Every day that VOA is not broadcasting is a day we cede the global information space to adversaries who fill it with disinformation and anti-American propaganda." Radio Free Asia president and CEO Bei Fong also voiced concerns, urging the administration to release necessary funding for operations to resume. The turmoil began on March 15th when over 1,000 employees and contractors from VOA and the Office for Cuba Broadcasting were suspended due to a late-night White House order to dismantle the federal agency that funds them, the U.S. Agency for Global Media, USAM. The administration justified this move as part of a broader initiative to eliminate government waste associated with frivolous expenditures that fail to align with American values or address the needs of the American people. Since the executive order, VOA offices in Washington have been closed, employees placed on paid leave without access to work emails, and contractors terminated. This marked the first time in the 83-year history of VOA that broadcasts were halted since its establishment during World War II to counter Nazi propaganda. Employees subsequently filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration and its advisor Kari Lake, who oversees USAM. In a court hearing, the government argued that President Trump had not shut down VOA but had only temporarily paused its operations, a claim that Judge Lamberth found difficult to accept. He remarked that it was a waste of 1,300 employees while the president deliberated on the agency's future. The networks in question are designed to provide information to countries lacking a robust or free press, promoting American democratic values through independent journalism and political discourse. Legal representatives for these media organizations argued that the attempt to close them was not merely about reducing federal spending but was, in fact, a move towards censorship. Other government-funded international broadcasters are also engaged in their own legal struggles against the Trump administration and Lake. The preliminary injunction issued by Lamberth does not apply to Radio Free Europe/Radio Liberty and the Open Technology Fund, although he had previously barred the administration from shutting down RFE/RL due to its funding status. RFE/RL has received its allocated funds through mid-March, but is still facing staff furloughs and is seeking court intervention to ensure funding for the remainder of the fiscal year. Unlike VOA, which is a government entity, RFE/RL operates as a non-profit reliant on federal grants. Judge Lamberth declined to grant immediate funding relief, citing ongoing negotiations between RFE/RL and USAM. However, he warned that should those negotiations fail or if the administration withholds appropriated funds, he would have cause to intervene. This ruling and the ongoing legal challenges underscore the contentious relationship between the Trump administration and independent media organizations, raising critical questions about press freedom and the role of government in regulating information dissemination. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.